Target inside compound. Range 1,400.
1,400.
Wind 0.5. Send it.
Delta 1 is down.
Code red!
Jack could use the Avada Kedavra curse, but he preferred to show off with a sniper rifle. He used a small windmill on the balcony to calculate the wind direction and speed. He fired a test shot at the target building to adjust his aim. After fine-tuning the scope, he pulled the trigger again. Once everything was confirmed, he pointed the barrel toward the building entrance and patiently waited for the president to appear. Jackal was a mysterious professional assassin known for taking on assassination missions that paid handsomely. His targets were often the most enigmatic and dangerous figures behind power and wealth. This time his target was the President of France. Jackal patiently waited for the moment when the president would step into the revolving door, catching the bodyguards off guard, and then struck decisively. Just like that, the President of France became the former president. The scene immediately descended into chaos. The bodyguards hastily grabbed binoculars to search for the sniper's position. Before long, they spotted the glint of a rifle reflecting light from a distant building. But they didn't know that Jackal had deliberately stayed at his original position after taking the shot to let them find him. Calmly, he dismantled the sniper rifle and carefully packed it away. After erasing all traces at the scene, he planted a time bomb under a bed reserved for police officers. As Jack drove out of the parking lot, he happened to encounter a convoy of police and counter-terrorism units speeding toward the hotel, sirens blaring. He glanced at them casually, then drove to another nearby parking lot, switched to a new car, and disappeared. After storming into the hotel room, the counter-terrorism unit found the time bomb under the bed, but it was already too late. At the same time, the old car Jack had abandoned in the parking lot exploded, erasing all traces. As a lone wolf, Jackal had grown increasingly isolated outside of his work. He always operated alone in the dark underworld, his appearance constantly changing with no one ever knowing his true face. This time his target was the CEO of a tech company. Jackal disguised himself as a janitor and easily infiltrated the company. However, the life of an assassin always carried unexpected risks. A female employee happened to catch him attaching a silencer to his gun. The noise he made while dealing with her drew the attention of a security guard.
Du hast den Staubsauger laufen lassen.
But Jack couldn't speak French. Realizing his cover was blown, Jackal immediately opened fire, killing the guard. The director in the adjacent office hurried toward the emergency stairwell, but Jackal remained unfazed, calmly aiming downward. When the target appeared around the corner, Jackal fired a shot, hitting him in the leg. Wounded, the director desperately begged for his life. Jack noticed that the man's femoral artery had been ruptured. He wouldn't live much longer, so he didn't waste any more time firing additional shots. The gunfight inside the office had already exposed Jackal's position, and the alarm blared throughout the building. Jack made his way to the rooftop, tossed a few smoke bombs into the crowd below, and then used a rope to rappel down and escape with ease. Jackal's career was full of legendary tales. No one knew his past, and no one dared question his abilities. Some said he was a cold-blooded killer forged by war. Others believed he was like a prairie wolf born with an instinct to kill. Regardless of the rumors, he always exuded a terrifying calmness, as if he had never experienced a flicker of emotion. The assassination of the president captured the attention of European nations. An MI6 intelligence agent named Bianca was invited to join the investigation. When she heard that the sniper had fired from a distance of 3,815 meters, she was utterly astonished, because up until now the world record for a sniper kill with a rifle was 3,540 meters. Since no weapon was found at the scene, it was concluded that the assassin had carried the rifle away with him. The hotel's surveillance cameras had captured Jack's silhouette leaving. The sniper rifle had clearly been disassembled and packed into his suitcase. Bianca requested an examination of the suitcase's dimensions. The TAC-50 scope alone was 737 millimeters long, and the rifle body itself was over 1 meter. If it had been placed in a suitcase, part of it would certainly have protruded. For an assassin capable of killing from such a distance, his weapon was practically his second life. There was no way he would leave it behind. This meant the rifle had been custom-made with the barrel divided into 2 detachable parts. Upon hearing this, the French security personnel immediately protested.
Barrel in 2 parts is the gunmaker's holy grail. If the rifling were out to the tiniest fraction, it would compromise the shot. It's impossible.
However, Bianca had learned from several sources about a gunsmith named Norman Stoke who had spent years trying to create this miracle. Since the assassination in Stockholm in 2018, he had gone into hiding. But she had a way to track him down. The gunsmith builds the weapons and the assassin buys the weapons from the gunsmith. They planned to use that clue to find the man who killed the president. At that time, Jackal had already sold his villa in Germany and crossed the border into England. He logged into the underground assassins network from an internet cafe. While waiting for the remaining payment for the presidential assassination, a stranger suddenly contacted him claiming to be a fan. The person said there was a project Jackal might be interested in, but it couldn't be discussed online. They needed to meet in person. Jackal set his price. A meeting fee of $1 million, half paid up front, the other half after the meeting. Regardless of whether negotiations succeeded, the fee was non-refundable. The woman followed Jackal's instructions and went alone to a cabin by the lake. She offered Jackal $10 million to assassinate the leader of an organization. Jackal smiled and said that if she multiplied that amount by 10, maybe they could have a conversation. The woman was visibly shocked by the figure $100 million. She said she would need to consult her superiors. When she turned around, she realized Jackal had already disappeared without a sound. Upon returning home, Jackal turned on his computer to check his bank account but realized that 24 hours had passed, and the 3.75 million euros payment for the assassination still hadn't been transferred. He contacted the client who had hired him, but he only received 2 words in response. Not happening. Jackal couldn't believe there was someone in this world bold enough to cheat him out of his fee. He immediately contacted his bank. 14 days earlier, 3.75 million euros had been deposited into his account. He instructed the bank. Find out the origin of that money. His wife Nuria noticed that he seemed troubled.
Someone I've been working with has, they've misunderstood their obligations to me.
Is it money?
Yeah.
A lot?
Yeah.
Que hijo de la gran puta.
It's not just the money. So if it were to get out that someone had got away without paying me, it hurts the brand, which is a problem.
And if he steals from you, he steals from your family, which is me and Carlito. So you tell me where he lives and I get the money he owes.
She had no idea about Jackal's true identity as an assassin and assumed it was just a simple financial dispute. Jackal quickly turned down her offer to help. In another development, the person in charge of investigating the assassination of the president contacted his informant named Allison. Her code name was Sparrow. Her ex-husband was the gunsmith named Norman. In the entire world, he was the only one capable of crafting a sniper rifle that could take down a target from 400 meters away and could be disassembled and reassembled. Bianca had once saved Allison's life during a previous mission. However, Allison was currently in trouble. Her daughter